Yeah, so we rolling.
All right, so you watching Strictly Basketball Podcast, Episode 6, MVP candidates. I got a special guest. Introduce yourself.
How y'all doing? My name is Caz Cummings. Some of y'all probably know me as KC. I'm from Brooklyn. Point guard, shooting guard, 6 feet. Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, so let's get into your journey. Like, how did you get started with basketball?
Growing up, like I said, I'm from Brooklyn, hometown, Sheepshead Bay. So I picked up basketball pretty late. My father, he's Caribbean, he's Trini. My mother, she's Panamanian. So I want to say for the first 10, 12 years of my life, I was kicking basketballs at soccer balls because my father played soccer. Up until his tragic death in 2003.
My condolences.
Sorry to hear about that.
Definitely, my condolences.
He was murdered, and it was just like, now it's like, well, like I always say, I fell in love with basketball, but I'd have never fell in love with basketball if my father was alive because he didn't play basketball. He played soccer. So I found the love late, age 13, when I was in junior high school. It was my 8th grade year. I don't know if they still have that program around, Champs or MSBL. But I went to a tryout. I made it. I was one of the tallest kids. So that started the journey. After that, then it just became, I want to say, just a wish in a well.
How did you handle that, like, mentally? Your dad passing away. How did that resonate with you mentally? Because I know that could be tough. Like,
so he died when I was 9, turning actually 10. So that was like maybe 2003. So just mentally,
like,
it didn't even hit me yet. Like, even still seeing him in a casket, even still my family going through what they're going through, my mom's going through the late mental depression and everything. Just, it didn't hit me, I want to say, until that time, because, you know, you're still a kid.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's grieving. You know, obviously I was a little bit more mature than my siblings, but.
Because you was the oldest?
I'm the oldest that my mother has, but like I said, I consider my cousins also my siblings too, because we all grew up in one household.
Yeah.
So I got 2 older cousins, Jamie Fluka, Anthony Joel Tate, and they like my older brothers as well.
Yeah.
So it hit them.
Y'all all got a good relationship?
Yeah, we all got a good relationship. Real brother stuff. We grow up, your brother sock you in your face, and then mommy gonna come sock us all, and that's it. We all, and that's it. You feel me? So they were playing basketball.
Your pops, he played ball?
Nah, he played soccer.
Oh, soccer.
He played soccer.
So how was that transition? How was your transition from high school playing college ball? Like, how was that?
Hold on, we didn't even get from middle school to high school. What was that transition like?
So middle school, like I said, I had that 1 year, so it was bright. Again, even still, this is things that you need. I want to say mentorship and things like that. My mother just thought, look, listen, he's a good kid. We gained him off the street.
Right.
He got an opportunity. So as far as just trying to get me into a school where I would have flourished, been like what I always say, a big fish in a small pond. My mother was like, so we're in Sheepshead Bay. You know, don't you want to go to Lincoln? It was actually my mother's idea for me to go to Lincoln. I was like, Mom, I want to go to Madison or I want to go to Sheepshead. She was like, no, you're going to go to Lincoln.
Tiny was there when he was at Lincoln? Tiny was still coaching Lincoln when he was there?
Every year I was
I know Tiny's, Tiny's a good coach.
Shout
out to Coach Tiny.
Like Lincoln, shout out to Juice program.
Now, Lincoln High School, now I'm from Detroit, so this question might be a little ignorant. Now, Lincoln High School, is that the same school that Jesus Shuttlesworth went to?
Yeah, I get a lot of questions.
And he
like
got
that.
game, yeah. He got game.
I get a lot of questions like that. So that's the actual high school that they paid Ray Allen to remake and do the He Got Game and stuff.
Okay, bet.
And I got a lot of friends and some family from those same Coney Island projects and
wow.
stuff. So, yeah.
So how was y'all at it? How was the team that year at Lincoln? Did y'all win any city titles, state How y'all did?
Say it was a prestigious time for Lincoln basketball. It was just an unfortunate time for myself. Because coming from that whole era where now there is a AA, now they made a AA, before it was just a single A, and then the whole Elite 8 thing. So, of course, we got prestigious players like Lance Stevenson. Special shout out to he's like one of my mentors.
Lance Stevenson, he was there when you was there at that time?
Lance was definitely there.
Who else y'all had that went on to play Division I college ball?
Another one, I would sit there and say he's definitely like a mentor. I talk to him every day. He's like a brother. His name is Darwin Champ Ellis. He was like Lance's like ace boom coon right hand man. They won all 4 championships with each other. Another special shout out to my bro, Timothy Flowers. These was guys that I was seeing in the hallway, and I was aspiring to be one of those guys, wear Lincoln uniform, and you know, like that.
Wow.
So again, I know Lance. Lance is not like I want to say like a day one figure. I've had certain classes with him, but like players like Darwin Ellis, because we are from the same area and stuff. Timothy, like these were people who like I spoke to every day. I played basketball, I trained with them, and they always said, listen, just put your grind in it and your time will show.
Now, I had a question, man. You talked about your father being a soccer player, and then and you talking about how you matriculated into basketball. Was basketball a way, or playing sports in general, a way to honor your family or to honor your father? And what made you fall in love with the game?
Somewhat yes and no, because at the end of the day, you just get knowledge, and I understand that if he was alive, I wouldn't even be here. I'd never found that love for basketball. I definitely would have been a soccer player. He probably would have tried to get me into certain soccer clubs. I know my grandmother, rest in peace, she used to tell me that he had opportunities to play in Trinidad professionally. So definitely, I don't want to sound ignorant. But if it's one of those things I've always thought about, like if my father did not pass away, I would have never been a basketball player. I'd never gotten to this level. I would never fell in love with the game of basketball. But then as far as now coming from 13, 14, 15, probably I want to say like maybe like 16, 17, I developed that hardcore concurrent love for the game, like that eat, breathe, and sleep. Ball is like, when Ball is Life came out, it was like, oh my God, like, this is it. I'm like, nah, this is it. Like, I really, like, I breathe, eat, go to the bathroom.
Basketball was something you was passionate about. Something that you was
so
really
passionate.
Yeah.
Some people, sometimes you start something, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm disrespecting anybody, but your perseverance, but also your potential, you need both.
Yeah.
So of course I had perseverance going to Lincoln. Of course I had that, but just just having to just take it on. I want to say on the chin as what it was like. Even though you probably think you're good, even though these clubs probably think you're good, you're not that good enough to make a Lincoln junior varsity. You're not that good to make a Lincoln varsity. So I had to persevere. I had to work out.
You had to grind. Had to sacrifice.
I went 4 years, and I realized that that's athlete's most important years. His high school career, unnoticed, unranked.
Wow.
You wasn't heavily recruited in high school. You didn't have no D1 offers, no offers at all, no offers
coming out of high school.
Nothing. Like,
thank God for the Redemption Christian Academy. Shout out to Jimmy Wooten. Shout out to.
Speak about that. I know you went to prep school. How was your prep school career after you left Lincoln?
My prep school career was something I prayed for. It was literally an opportunity to play.
Somebody got you in a prep school?
Yes. Y'all probably know him as BG Elite. He's a second cousin to my family. His name's called Bryden Garner.
Oh yeah, I met him. I know who
he
BG.
Got the whole LES. I want to say campaign going.
Shout out to BG.
Shout out to BG. BG reached out to Jimmy Wooten when they were, I think, on their last year at our brother school at Redemption Christian Academy upstate in Troy. So he reached out to them and he was like, "Listen, I got somebody. He's very gritty. I'll describe my game as like Patrick Beverly with just a bit more. Yeah, I'm very gritty on defense, but I got a bit more offensive edge than him. I'm a bit more offensively sound.
So when you got in prep school, like, you got more recognition, like.
Yeah, but also, then again, like I said, you got to be real with yourself. Then no, you just getting as much exposure as you needed. I'm playing with a bunch of players that's coming from states and clubs where they're already recruited, or they already had maybe a player of the year under the belt, much like a brother of mine, Sajay Pryor. He was Colonial Penn Council player. He's from Albany, so I'm playing against a lot of players. I'm pretty sure y'all heard of Baloo down in D.C. I played with guys like Anthony Livingston. He was already projected to be an NBA player. I played with guys like Marquise Gentry. I played with guys like Dante Thomas. I've even played with guys like Devontae Grace. Devontae Grace was the point guard there when I got there. So just having to go through so much.
And most of them went on to play Division I basketball.
Most of them definitely went on to play
D1, yeah.
Like, they were my guys. Like, a couple of times in the dorms, I would ask them, "Hey, look, listen, like, let's work out. Let's try to get like a package deal with each other." Shout out to Sajay Pryor.
I ain't gonna lie.
Sajay Pryor tried to get me a package deal when he was being recruited by LIU Brooklyn. We went out, we worked out. So it was just a transcendence, but just like a perseverant type of like basketball journey, because even though just hearing, "Hey, look, listen, you have the potential. You were good enough. You're just not good enough now." It was like bittersweet to me. Yeah. Because it was like my journey was, I didn't have much opportunity. Like I definitely didn't.
Yeah. So how was that a transition from leaving like high school, going into your college transition, going into college? How was that for you? Going to Genesee?
I prayed on it. It was very hard when I first got to prep. I graduated 2010, 2011. I got into high school around 2006, 2007. So I was like 13 going on 14 because I was born in October. So I got a late birthday.
Are you a Libra?
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, Scorpio.
So when I got there, after I graduated and everything, again, I got all these guys that have high school career basketball experience. Now, that always is going to trump, and I want to let people know, it's always going to trump not having the AAU experience. Not, like, you need that high school experience. Like, everybody sits there and says, yes, I play AAU. There's a bunch of AAU teams. AAU does not, and I want to let this be known, it doesn't do player development. So now they get the top-notch players around.
Who phone ringing?
Oh, man.
It's all good.
Nah, I thought it was me, but no, it's not me.
Okay.
But AAU doesn't really focus on player development. They go out and they recruit. They get much like, I want to sit there and say it's not a sub, but like Team Scanlon. They get the top players that's around and they put them to compete. As far as back to like what BG used to do with his. BG gets players now from a lot of places in the city, and he does player development, skills training, mentorship.
I worked out with him one time, BG.
Yeah, and from you just working out, you could attest to what I'm saying. Like he's real, like professional.
He runs his own tournament, LES Express. BG
Shout out
runs his
to
own
LES.
tournament. Shout out to LES Express. He runs his own tournament. You know that.
So, just yeah.
I want to ask, man, about two things that you mentioned, man, before we get into your collegiate career and that transition, man. You mentioned a few things, bro. You mentioned prayer, and that brings up spirituality, and you also mentioned the streets. And I wanna ask you how your spiritual life may have helped you as an adolescent with your career in basketball, and also if the streets may have helped or hurt you in your career, in your pursuits, in your goals with basketball.
Well, faith is number one.
Yeah.
So regardless on any journey that I have, I don't want to make it seem like I'm blue collar or anything. I'm definitely from a low subsidy income house.
Yeah.
I was born into Niger, had some or experienced whatever they want to claim as some type of poverty.
Yeah.
So my faith was always something that my family, because we're Trinidadian and
Yeah, I'm Trinidadian
you
too.
feel me? Oh, yes, y'all thought we need some good.
I'm
we need some good
Trinidadian too.
King after this.
Yeah, I'm Trinidad as well. On my
Yeah.
father's dad is Trinidad.
Yeah,
So
faith was definitely something that we practiced. It was strong, but then also too, just like I said, losing a father figure, not having that I want to say that hawk on your back that all men need.
Amen.
Because a lot of people don't understand. It's not a disrespect to the black queens that we have as mothers, but
Right.
they endure so much to where it's like it comes a point where as long as I'm clothing you, feeding you, and I have a house and you, I can't really monitor what it is that you're gonna get into.
We
And
need that masculine, feminine balance. We need that.
And I know mom is gonna see this interview. She's gonna be like, "Oh my God, this is the things that you were doing." But mom, I'm a good guy.
now you gotta appreciate. You only get one mother. You gotta
You know,
appreciate your mom. You only get one mother in this life. So
It was tough to uphold that persona of mom,
Yeah.
I'm a good kid, but then I'm outside and like, ma, I'm getting into mischief.
Yeah.
I'm in gangs and stuff.
Yeah.
And, things like
So
that.
that triggered you, like when your dad passed. That triggered you mentally, like reacting outside. Like,
Yeah, at that point in time, you don't realize it as that. So then
Amen.
that's why you turn to your gang cultures. Of course,
Right.
I refer it as colors.
Yeah.
You turn blue, you turn red. You
Yep.
feel me? And
Yep.
you get your whatever they call your big brother essence or whatever the case may be. So everybody chooses their color of choice. And I don't want to say I was deep in the streets.
Yeah.
But I had my fair share in the streets just because of the lostness, the of course, us as men, you understand when we're young, you want to find yourself before you find yourself. So now this is coming from a kid.
Hey, that's deep, man.
Yeah.
What you just said, you want to find yourself before you find yourself. Come on.
So I'm a kid now. Again, I got older brothers who I consider that my brothers, but I'm the one out there saying, no, we got to do this. Like,
Yeah.
I got to be out there doing this. Like, I'm the one that's really experiencing it. I guess you could say it was a type of like, I want to say prophetic awakening.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have a rough road, but that don't mean you can't get through it. So I always used to try to,
life still gotta go on.
you know,
Like, at the
I
end
always
of the
try to
day,
use
yeah.
that's a fact. Like you say, life got to go on.
Life gotta go on.
So I never took it as, a sorrow. Yeah. I looked at it as, hey, another black African-American man slain, another black African-American man not able to provide for his family. But how much other black African-American young brothers like myself, that's bouncing the ball or that's just doing anything to get themselves out of the situation, who's using that as an excuse? So I never used that as an excuse, but I also was, I want to say, bombarded by a lot of mischief because of certain routes I took. I've always balanced the basketball. I was always in church. Always try to keep a good persona. Try to not have my mother down my back per se, but you know.
So how was your experience going to Globe Institute? I know you went to Globe Institute after Genesee, so how was that for you going to Globe Institute?
Hold up. Hey, no, did you go to Globe Institute before you went
No,
to?
he went there after Genesee, right?
I went there after.
So how was that? Going into another, like, transfer to another college system, or like.
We ain't talked about the first college system yet, though. We ain't talked about Genesee yet.
Genesee. I think we have finished that. Genesee. Actually,
Globe was good. I mean, it was also too something. Again, like I said, I look at my ups and downs and my trials and tribulations. It's just simply because of just lack of male mentorship.
Yeah.
So when you coming from what I've explained, you know, like I look at my mom, and then even though she's trying to give me adherence, and I'm talking about from age 16, that's how real it is. That's how real it is. I'll tell my mom, okay, Ma, and I'm going out to do it my way.
Yeah.
Whether I succeeded or I failed, you know, just because it's like, and it's not to disrespect my mom, I love you.
Right.
But she wasn't a man. She wasn't a man. So I realized those things very, very on. Like, these are things that only a man is going to be able to teach me. Or I'm going to be out there and I'm going to have to just take the wins or the losses. Go
bump your head. Yeah.
Just bump, that's it. That's all I had to do. So, again, a lot of times with my basketball journey, it would have definitely probably been, I would have been a better place. It would have paid off if I just had that male influence to be like, nah, you ain't doing this tonight. You ain't going out to these team parties, or you ain't going to go chill with your friends over there. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are aware.
I'm raised with a single mom now, so.
You feel me? When you tell your mom, I said I'm going out with my friends, you know, we all cool peoples and everything, and she know the 3 guys you're going out with, that's it. You got your moms in a Ponzi. So I want to say, so just being lost my whole high school career, but really trying to be an athlete, it was an egotistical surge.
That's all right. See, man, it's deep, man. Cause eventually I want you to talk to the young cats that was in your position, that's in your position now. That's the seniors, the 17-year-olds, the 18-year-olds, and have you talk to your younger self. But first, all right. So through all of that, man, and you as a god, as a king, was still able to get to the collegiate level. So before we go on to Globe, when you get to Genesee, what was the motivation and what got you to Genesee and when you got there, how did you feel as a man and how basketball got you there?
Well, I got there because you said as a man, so I want to say as an 18, 19-year-old man, transgression, everything, all the ups and the downs, and enduring all the losses and everything, I felt so, I want to say, like complete, I felt so complete, like just with being, and I'm pretty sure everybody is gonna understand as a man, just literally just doing your regular to-do list or your bucket list. Like I was like, I'm gonna go to prep. I went to prep. I was like, I'm gonna get an offer from a college. I'm gonna get an offer from a college.
Got it.
You know, special shout out to Chevy
Like
George.
you prioritized everything.
Yeah, like I stayed. I was actually not about to get that opportunity to get that look, but I stayed. Again, shout out to Jimmy Wooten. He said, listen, just stay, Caz, the season's over. We're going to get you in some JUCO jamborees because we were in Georgia. So around the 2010, 2011, 2012 years, JUCO jamborees is really kicking off down south. So
and that's a whole different era, though.
Yeah.
That's your era. So.
Yeah, so that's
your era.
Yeah, that's how they was kind of, that was their blueprint for a lot of players. We're going to go to JUCO jamborees because JUCO became this big thing now. So it was like everybody has a home. So I went that whole prep school year, 2010, 2011. Again, a lot of guys, they came in, they were very more polished than I was.
Yeah.
They had more experience. So, of course, a lot of these guys are coming with just
You
looks
feel like they was more advanced than you, like ready or better, or how you felt? Like
the ones that I mentioned. So, again, the Devontae Graces, he was St. John's recruit he was a sophomore. So, Sajay Pryor, Anthony Livingston, I want to say Marquise Gentry, Dante Thomas. These are guys that already had, I want to say, player profiles, max prep, rankings and stuff like that. So when it came to these guys, of course I had to, you compete, you a dog, but then you also adhere and say, yeah, these are guys that they're better than me, but that don't mean
you still got to pay your respect.
I pay you. You always pay homage, whether you the owner of the building, or you the janitor.
Yes, sir.
You always pay homage. You feel me?
Come on, kids.
So,
listen.
just seeing them coming in 2-3 months, 4 months, shipping in, shipping out. Oh, they got school. They signed in the dorms, in the basement by the gym. So it just gave me more.
Like you say, you ain't have no looks in high school. No, not no looks at all.
This was just still, I want to say, like deer in headlights, just to be in prep school. Just to get there, just to get the meal plan, just to get everything.
Shout out to the meal plan.
Shout out to the meal plan. Shout out to Jimmy Woo and every single shout
I say
out
you
to-
never
shout
played
out to
in none. You
Michelle
never
Woo.
played in none of Coach Tippy showcase because you know Tippy got run the
Definitely.
Big Apple, all
Definitely.
that unsigned hype. Coach Tippy run all
Definitely.
that.
How I got
Shout out to
Tippy
Coach
was through-
Tippy
shout
again.
out to- Shout out to Coach
Shout out to
Tippy.
Coach Tippy.
How I got to Coach Tippy was through Coach A. Coach Adrian.
Oh no, I met Coach Adrian. Yeah, I know Coach Adrian.
was,
yeah.
was the head coach / assistant coach over at Sheepshead Bay.
Shout out to Coach
so He
Adrian.
knew a couple of guys in that area. Remember, I'm from Sheepshead Bay. So rest in peace, my guy Sean Pearl Alexander. He's known by S-Dot. Other guys from my neighborhood, Frankie Drayton, Shamar Falcoon, Eric Williams. These were guys that played on the Sheepshead Bay varsity team. So these were guys coming up.
Okay.
I'm looking up to them, and I'm like, yo, if I want to be just like y'all or be just as better. So they've always gave me the opportunity to, hey, yo, come work out, you know? And then once I worked out with I want to say I worked out maybe like I was 15 years old, so that's like the summer going into my sophomore year. They have things like Big Apple.
Yeah, Big Apple.
So once
unsigned hype, all that.
So once I went there, he was like, listen, if you choose to stay in Lincoln, that's cool, but you always got, that's when AAU really now picked up United Brooklyn and all these teams. So I was always in Tippy's realm, even from when he transferred out of
Because you know
Brooklyn.
Tippy done helped out. He helped many kids get in schools, all that. That's why Tippy is one of the GOATs in New York.
Kids.
He helped
Shout
many
out to
kids.
Tippy and that whole Big Apple Sports program and his JUCO jamborees down to even just him coming down to West Fourth and coaching the kids. I remember one summer I was playing with Coach A and them, and Tippy was like, "You gotta play defense." You know how Tippy gets very erratic if you don't play defense. He does not care about scoring. He's like, "You gotta play defense."
Yeah, I look at Tippy. I met Tippy when I was like 17, so I look at him as a mentor. Like Tippy's a great man. He got a great spirit. He a great man overall. Like if you come across him, then that's a GOAT right there. So definitely. So where you see New York City street ball going in the future? Like I spoke about this last episode.
Well, we always gonna have it, and I don't want to say
The culture gonna, of course, the culture gonna always be
as
here.
far as the culture and as far as just having now what people say, we have the blueprint. You send kids here, or you know, you got to make sure your kid, like how Melo's doing. Melo got his son now, Christ the King.
Christ the King.
Melo got his son also playing in Lincoln Park, just like how this guy, what's his name, Scottie Pippen, got his younger son coming. We the Mecca. We got the exposure, but we picking up a new type of, I want to say, style of gameplay.
And even at this generation is like it's a lot. Kids is better this year because there's access to many more things in this era, like technology and many more training.
Right,
So that's why kids nowadays might be more talented.
More training, but then also, I want to sit there and say, coming from my generation, because like I said, I'm 30 years old.
Yeah, you older,
so I'm a little bit older than these cats. So I analyze guys that, as far as point guards, I was looking at are now like not even in the league, such as like John Wall.
Right.
This was a guy that I had his Zig-Tex in high school. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is a guy literally I used to wear number 2 in my tour. He's no longer here. Brandon Jennings, young buck, the first rookie on the Milwaukee Bucks to drop 55. He's the reason why Stephen Curry had the ankle injury. He's no longer in the NBA.
Sebastian Telfair.
There's a lot of
Special shout
There's a
out
lot.
to
There's a
Sebastian
lot of
Telfair.
players saying home on that couch. That's free agents. Carmelo just retired. I heard. I
Talking
don't
about
know if it's real, but they heard Carmelo just retired. I don't know if that's real, but
Sorry for him to have to do so. It's a lot of it's political with him.
Right, for sure.
It's very political with him. But just to answer your question about where we going with the basketball in New York,
NYC,
we evolving. Stephen Curry and this whole points per minute and the matriculated, I want to say analytical system, and just I know we're watching this boy. I never got a chance to play against him, but I've watched him. I'm like a fan of the Marquise Noel kid. We're watching what he's doing.
He I ain't gonna lie, he a dog. He a dog.
Really
Shout out to Marquise Noel,
shout out to
Kansas
him.
State. Word.
He deserves
That kid is a bucket.
the nickname Mr. New York
He
City.
hard overhyped.
Night in, night out, just to obviously just look at the way he prepares himself and just the way he approaches the game. You know, much like other players, like I said, I've played with in New York City, much like a Tyler Bourne. people probably don't know about him, but Talibon went to Lincoln. Talibon is probably one of, I want to say.
You think Marquise Noel think he gonna get drafted? Cause it might be an issue because of his height. Cause most NBA they only go by like short guards. Cause he only 5'8". Cause
height as far as, but only so much because my era again. There was Isaiah Thomas.
Come on.
He got blacklisted. Cool.
Nate Robinson.
There's a Nate Robinson. There's other guys now, and even still, I know it's watered down height. That's what they call it. You get your height with your shoes and not your shoes. But Kyrie Irving is still.
He only 6 feet.
The game says 6'2", whatever, but he's a midget amongst giants. And Kyrie Irving is one of the most elusive basketball players when it's going deceptive. He knows how to put the basketball very pinpoint, spin off.
I feel like what
man's a scientist.
I feel like whatever team draft Marquise Noel, that's gonna be a steal for sure.
He got that dog in him. He's gonna come in and put 110. He's gonna be the first one in. He's gonna be the last one out. And when your heart can make you the same size as somebody that's, let's just say, 6'6", 6'7".
That's why they call him heart over height.
You can't teach that. It's a lot of, and we've all played basketball. We all know, we've all seen guys and was like, yo, big dog, like if I even had half your height,
right.
I'd be. But it's not there.
It's not
They didn't persevere. They didn't endure. They didn't take those losses.
Yeah.
And just from him being from New York City, him dubbing himself.
And being from Harlem, too.
Him dubbing himself Mr. New York City, putting New York City on his back, you could just tell that it's something that damn near 90% to 95% of NYC basketball players are going to have. They're always going to have that chip.
Definitely going to be a steal, though, for whatever team get him.
Whatever.
Sure.
But then also, too, it's just so much places to go now, which is also what I like about this era. It wasn't in my era. It wasn't promoted much as G League and all these other extra leagues and stuff like that. Brandon Jennings, they even said his road to the NBA was oddly because he could have went to a college, but he chose to go overseas. So kind of from my generation, Brandon Jennings opens the door like, yo, overseas could be a thing.
Yeah, right. I remember that.
As opposed to now, you got kids like LeBron James' son seeking or potentially being spoken about could get millions coming out of high school. So now I'm a flashback. Me coming out of high school, 2011, if I had the opportunity, even though prep is still one of the best things, I'm always recommend boarding school prep because why? You get to really learn the game on a different level. There's a national team, there's an in-house, so you get to really get all of the fruits and labors, the player development that you need. So I'm always going to recommend.
And I know you say you were affiliated with Roman Perez. So when you met Roman Perez,
I met
Roman. How you got affiliated with Roman?
This is going to be hilarious. Special shout out to Roman. Roman is like my big bro. I speak to him every day. We do morning devotions and stuff. I was in this league. I had an opportunity after I transgressed, fought from Globe, went through the clearinghouse, contacted Irv Beta down at Toro College, which is a D3.
Yep.
He allowed me to walk on. I played my final season
at Toro
College.
Wow.
In the city. So after that, with footage now, because this is basically what I've been fighting for. I've been out for this. I've been out to show people I could play the game of basketball, I could run a set. So I got my footage, got my highlight tapes made, and I sent them around to a few Hispanic clubs and stuff like that. I met Roman because he was playing for a semi-pro club, I want to say back in 2018, called Harvestra. I was playing for the semi-pro team called Zona Reble. So that's when I first met him. Didn't know who he was, just faced off against him. It was a very good game.
It's funny how I met him at an Apple store.
It was another guy named Trayvon Sledge there. He's a very, shout out to my boy Trayvon Sledge. So this was like my first stomping ground into like the semi-pro, I want to say overseas combine, like tournament style. Like this was it. Like I got jumped there speaking Spanish the whole entire game. So just because I'm Panamanian, I can speak fluent Spanish. It's a total different thing. Like the speed is different. Like the way the ball is different. So it was like it was crazy. And for him to be the first person in that type of setting for me, and for me to hold my own, it was crazy.
And if you could give some advice to the youngsters about what makes an MVP candidate, not just on the court of basketball, but off the court of basketball, based on your experiences, as a youngster really want to achieve the absolute best, and you're thinking about all your transitions, you think about all your lessons, what would you tell a youngster that's looking to be, and like I said, MVP candidate, off the court and on the court? What would you tell even your younger self? You know, would you tell even yourself right now the greatest lessons that you've learned in order to be an MVP candidate, to be the highest level caliber achieving player on the court, but also off the court?
Well, again, because maturity level, transgressions, I don't want nobody that's coming up to make any mistakes that I've made. So one thing I would definitely sit there and start off with is just acquiescing.
Wow.
And a lot of people...
Look that up, kids. I know y'all know what it means. Look it up.
You got to acquiesce, and I'll break it down into a better demographic. But acquiescing on the game of basketball is, again, it's more self-awakening. You got to know who you are, and you also got to accept criticism. So when somebody's telling you, hey, you might not be as good as you are, that means you not have to go through the
You
little
gotta
checks.
accept critique. People gonna critique you regardless. Yeah.
That was one thing. Shout out to BG. BG never, and that's a family member. BG never ever. I would not be allowed to act like I was that dude. You gotta come in here and build that dog. You gotta come in here, and for you to be that dude, you gotta work like that dude. So I just tell the younger generation, again, you got to acquiesce with as far as your skill level, your skill set, what you do every day in and out, if you're working, if you're out working.
Yeah.
Because, again, hard work beats talent. When
talent don't work hard. Come on.
Like I said last episode, if you're working
Pay
hard,
attention.
If you're working hard, God gonna reward you. And you gotta live with the results.
Pay attention.
Got to.
Yep.
Hey, now I'm gonna ask a fun question, but before we damn near almost wrap up. Now, just NBA transition. Who your hot take right now? Who's the MVP of the NBA right now? Who's somebody that you watch that's doing the damn thing right now?
I don't want discredit from nobody because, like I said, the way the NBA's changed and how it's just like is so many, like you literally got a dominant superstar like figure, East Coast, West Coast from 1 to 5. So I don't want to take away from any of those players. I'm gonna relate it up to measures from people from my generation. Of course, people know him as the late great Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace.
Come on now, the Mamba.
Rest in peace.
So
Straight up.
That's my all-time
Black
favorite
Mamba.
player.
Rest in peace for Kobe.
So for Kobe to be his MVP,
How you felt mentally when you found out Kobe passed away? How did that resonate in your mind? Like,
it's crazy because, right?
It's tough.
Yeah, I gotta understand what I'm saying. These are people that we probably also have met Kobe when he came to Rucker Park.
Stop it.
Yes, I did.
That one night when he was going crazy.
I met him at Rucker Park.
Wow.
He came out.
That was after he won the championship, right?
In EBC.
now, what year was that? 2011.
That was 2011.
Oh my
after
God.
I was playing with Coach Cliff. That's when they put the hardwood floor on Rucker.
Stop.
Kobe, I have a picture. I'm gonna send it to y'all.
Yeah,
Kobe
definitely.
came out, and met Kobe Bryant. I met
Ah.
him. So just meeting him shaking my hand, us taking pictures,
Like,
but
you
like.
literally check like
I
face to
have
face,
a picture.
like this.
Like this. Kobe
With the
came,
guy.
I think it was called Chain Link Fundamentals. I don't know if y'all remember. If
Send me all that.
But I'm gonna send all that.
Yeah.
But look, I have the picture and
Send me
everything.
the info.
Just me meeting Kobe and just understanding what it was, his journey and everything. You come to a point in time where you feel like you really know the person. Just how monumental, how iconic, how motivational.
Yes.
And
I've done hit jumpers,
the way Kobe,
practice fadeaways, done hit game winners. So
I'm talking about in the backyard, talking about reliving the whole thing. Yes.
woo, pulling my jersey.
Come on.
Inside.
I had the whole joint.
Seeing him and hearing that he perished, again,
that was just
him with his daughter and everything he was doing for the whole women's culture, trying to literally, if it's him gonna be, he's gonna take it out of his own pocket to improve the women's financial bracket, trying to get his daughter, just who he became from who he was.
Yeah.
It crushed me. Of course, just like a lot of Americans and Kobe fans across the world,
and I mean, the way Kobe impacted basketball, the way he impacted
approach.
everything, his approach, everything.
he definitely
The
left.
mama mentality.
Mama mentality.
That's the
He left
forever
the-
Mama
MVP.
mentality,
Forever, he
you know,
left the
mama
whole-
mentality.
He left a whole, I want to say, a motivational blueprint for younger basketball players. I definitely tell my younger basketball players that's 15, 16, listen, you can love your Steph, you can love your Luka. Luka's great, by the way. Listen, please make sure y'all waste some time, and I call it waste, watching those Kobe Bryant clinics, those highlights, because
Kobe was a dog. 2-time scoring champ, 5 rings. Like people always say LeBron, but Kobe had that killer mentality. Like he coming at you every game.
Because he came at himself.
He had that
he
killer,
expected
he
it
had
for
that killer
himself.
It was
instinct.
in her.
He had that killer instinct.
He never allowed nobody else, and that's a real man. That just comes down to you transcending that from sports to livelihood. You as a man, you always find another way to blame yourself first. I'm not pointing the finger unless I point the finger back at myself.
Y'all better be listening.
So Kobe, and as a Kobe fan, I'm talking about from 2003. Remember, you said you like AI. 2002, AI doing his thing. All my friends and peers, they got their Paul Pierce, this, that. So it was like, I'm gonna take Kobe.
Hey man.
Kobe was the dog.
And
Yeah, man.
And just to answer that question, because Kobe, what he transgressed, how everybody always say even Shaq, he should have 2 or 3 of them. He has 1.
But you know what Kobe said about Shaq? Shaq was he was being lazy. He said if Shaq wasn't lazy, he felt like the Lakers could have
Steve
won
Nash
more
to get him, give one of them MVPs up. Steve, if you listening, you give one of them MVPs up.
Kobe should have won one year.
Right
Kobe
now,
should have
we look up
definitely
somebody
won.
averaging 15 and 11 right now in the NBA. I want to say maybe I want to say so that means like a person like Tyrese Halliburton is now the league's MVP. He's in his plus minus and what he does with the basketball and his vision. So technically, Tyrese Halliburton on a team that's your MVP, young kids. That's your Steve Nash. That's how he gets a 2-time back-to-back MVP.
Steve, you better give up one of them MVPs, man.
Kobe should have won one year. He definitely got snubbed for one.
Yeah, so
sure.
Just relating what it took for Kobe, what it transgressed for Kobe. Again, he averaged, and this was for I want to say a decade long. He was before the James Harden era, before the Stephs, before the Giannis's. He was the last player on paper to average 35.4 a game. So that's the iconic 81 season. That's the 62 3/4 on Dallas. That's the game he scored 61 and then told Phil, I'm going to sit out. Brian Shaw saying, hey, you know you can break the record. He's telling them, I'm going to get back in and do it again later. Yeah. Like, I got it. So for him to not get MVP, but then see other dudes be in MVP contention for just keeping their teams up and running, I sit there and say it's a little bit biased on my behalf.
It's political.
It is.
You know what time
political.
it is.
Shout out to Joker and shout out what he does. Joker gets 2 back-to-back. For what now? Not taking any stats away from him because he's a beast.
And I got another question. Like, what's the favorite NBA? When we comparing NBA teams, so what's the best NBA team you thought that was ever assembled? You think ever assembled?
No bias. Golden State Warriors, that Kevin Durant team.
That was a dynasty, super team. Like nobody was beating that team.
Draymond, you messed up. That's all I'm gonna say. But just having him, KD, at that point of his peak, where it's like I'm willing to do anything.
But they was a winning team before KD got there. That just made them even more of a dynasty. Like,
but just to get that weapon, that arsenal, I got the Slim Reaper. I got Kevin Durant.
I'm mad.
They would still be
I'm
winning
upset
now.
Kevin Durant hurt right now.
I'm sure
he should be playing with Phoenix right now.
For him to be bouncing around now, come on now, you got to understand that you don't do things just to do things. So I honestly feel like when they look back, they'll be like, yo, we should have found a way to keep it together. Draymond, you definitely did too much.
Because they was 3-0 when KD came back with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, CB3, you know.
KD realized it. It's not. You can see the way he plays, how he carries himself. He knows he's that guy, but he's not that guy. Mm. So him biting that bullet, saying, "OKC is mine." I was drafted. I'm the longest 10-year player. We were in Seattle, but now we okay. For him to leave everything behind to then go chase championship greatness, he's had MVPs. He needed that.
He was a 2-time Finals MVP.
He needed that. Some people. So not too much on the bias of like Stephen A. Smith. He got to capture one in his own city. That's them trying to open the door for LeBron. Not even pinpointing or taking anything away from LeBron. There'll never be another player, LeBron-esque, to leave his hometown that I'm drafted to, write a letter, hey, look, listen, if it's sugar, we'll all be rich later, blah, blah, blah. I'll come back, and I'm going to win a championship. I'm going to go win with these guys, then I'm going to come win with y'all. Braun did that. So that's where that narrative comes from, like, oh, no, because guess what? Nobody says that about Kareem.
You feel like Kevin Durant going to be a top 5 scorer when it's all said and done?
If we can put a stop to these injuries and tack on maybe another ending career with maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 seasons with some longevity, maybe he rack up about maybe 15,000 to 17,000 points.
It's easily.
He could be top 5. I mean, everybody's not going to have that perfect pinpoint, and LeBron's had injuries, but nobody's going to have that LeBron longevity to where taking care of your body, You've always been in the peak of your game. You've averaged top 10 numbers. So
And now he's LeBron, an all-time leading scorer. So that's epic, right
shout
there.
out to Bronny.
Shout out to Bronny.
Take us home, baby.
All right, so thanks for watching.
Watching, look up.
Thanks for watching Strictly Basketball.
Look at the camera.
Thanks for watching Strictly Basketball Podcast, episode 6. MVP candidates. Introduce. Anything yet?
KC. Oh, we taking it out.
Yeah.
Oh, just my MVP candidates.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
To tell them your Instagram where to follow you at.
Oh, pardon me. My bad. Oh, you can follow me at THEE.
Make sure you in the mic too. Make sure
You can follow me at THEE KC SHOWW.
All right.
So
Hey.
it's 2 E's and 2 W's.
All right.
Hey man, it's the most turned nerd. Episode 6, Strictly Basketball. We out. Let's get it.
Appreciate you, man. Heard.
Yo, appreciate
All
y'all, man.
All right.
Sir.
Yo,